We'll do the things we love again. We'll hang out with friends. We'll put our screens away and be amazed by what's been waiting for us. We'll dance and eat and laugh again. We'll look in our own backyard and find that it is full of wonders. There will be adventures and art. We will stand in the sunshine and we will be free. Where will you go first?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Fish East Live. I'm your host, Don Patterson, here again. I want to thank you all for joining us. This is just after yesterday was 1 year exactly since we aired our first episode, and so pretty excited to be here with this show tonight. This is one we've been working quite a while to put together, and all the pieces finally fell into place, and the stars have aligned. So looking forward to giving you folks a little treat tonight. But of course, before we do that, my partner in crime, as always, he snuck away from me on the last show when we had Gussie on. So thanks again to Jeff Wilson for filling in. But back with us again this week is my buddy down in Nova Scotia, Mr. Matt Zito.
Donald Patterson, how are you?
Good, Matt. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
That's good to hear it, buddy. I hope you enjoyed your time off there when you bowed out. It was, I believe, your daughter's birthday.
Yes, the episode with Gussie was Mira's birthday, so we spent the day together and did some birthday stuff. So I'm glad to be back, though. I feel like it's been a very long time since I've been on here. So
it does feel like it's been a while, but before we move on, we got to tease the folks at home a little bit and drag this out for a minute or two. Mm-hmm. I do want to say congratulations to you, my friend. You just recently announced that not only are you a part of the Fish East family, but you and Tim Myers have another project on the go.
Yes, thanks, Donnie. We are starting a new series called Angler's Appetite. That will be airing on Bell TV or Bell TV One, they call it. It's like the on-demand feature of Bell, and that'll be sometime in 2022. Basically, a show where we travel around the province targeting species to catch and cook. So it's kind of like a cooking show disguised as a fishing show, or a fishing show disguised as a cooking show.
So how many times are you allowed to make fish tacos in one season?
As many times as I can. Maybe I'll mix it up with different ingredients. I don't know. We'll see. At least once. You'll see the famous fish tacos at least once. That I can promise you.
Perfect. So, Matt, as you know, I mean, we've been working on this back in the spring when we were doing the special series for the Maritime Boating and Outdoor Digital Marketplace. We tried to put this show together, and we just couldn't make schedules work. But we have two folks coming on tonight. The first one is a familiar face, someone we haven't seen in a while.
Yes.
So let's get him in here. I know a lot of people have kind of, been wondering where he's been hiding. So without any further ado, Fish East co-founder, Mr. Ben Wu.
I can't tell you guys how much I miss dialoguing in this forum. How are you guys doing?
Good, Ben. Yourself.
Good to see you, my friend.
Oh, super good to see you, Matt. Good to see you, Donnie. I see you guys have been keeping busy.
Yeah, but I think your absence tells a tale, too, that you've been a little busy.
Well, you know what? As everybody knows, I'm sure, I moved out to the Maritimes and set up here in New Brunswick now. And obviously moving here meant a lot of different changes for myself and the family. We were fortunate enough to, work together, Donnie and Matt, and, get this Fish East thing off the ground. But then, life takes over, right? And COVID happens, and we don't want to talk about that today. But all that to say, things happen, things need to be adjusted and so on and so forth. So I've been busy just kind of getting that together. Real busy just on a professional level, but always, of course, watching every single Fish East, podcast you guys do. And congratulations to you, Matt, on your new project as well.
Oh, thank you.
I just love seeing that, the message that we started together was, it's still there, which is multi-species fishing is fun, guys. That's what it was always all about.
Oh, without a doubt. And I mean, I had the opportunity a week ago today, actually, to attend a meeting in Fredericton with our tourism minister and some other fishing industry stakeholders. And we haven't really told anyone this yet, but I did take a chance and for a very small select group screened a cut of episode 1 of Fish East. And response was quite positive. There may be 1 or 2 people watching tonight. I'm not sure that may have had a chance to see that, but response was positive, and I'm pretty stoked that what we've got coming and how soon it's coming. So
yeah, and being part of that was absolutely amazing. Happy to see that we're on the cusp of being able to show everybody what that was all about. We had chance to fish with you, Donnie, chance to fish with yourself, Matt, in Nova Scotia, and I think it's going to really come together, and hopefully people enjoy it and opens their eyes to the incredible opportunities that exist here out on the East Coast, right? But yep. I do want to say something. I noticed the poster had like 2 top secret. I really hope not everybody was thinking that I was like this big top secret guest that you've been hyping up for all these months. It certainly isn't me. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. No, when we talked about you coming back on, and like I said, yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of the first episode, which you and I did together, Ben. So it's kind of suiting to have you back on, at this point for a little catch up. But when we talked about you coming on, you had a friend of yours who was interested in joining us.
Well, I've got a lot of great buddies, and especially great fishing buddies. And when we're talking about multi-species, and we want we want to get on the show, and we want to share the passion is really what it's all about. I got to think, man, this buddy of mine loves fishing. I mean, he loves fishing, and when I say loves fishing, I mean not just loves fishing, but loves multi-species fishing, loves multi-technique fishing. You know how we always talk about whether it's fly or traditional tackle, or whether it's what I mean. Salmon or whatever it may be, bass, it doesn't really matter. The passion is the same. So I can think of a better person if I could have got him, because you think I have a busy schedule. This guy makes me look like I'm available 24/7. That's how busy this guy is. And I'm sure your audience, I know I've seen you kind of poke at it, from way back in March. So people can put the dots together now. Friend of mine, busy in March, could not get a hold of him until now. You might be able to put the pieces together. As you noticed, we didn't really advertise this, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. And if people look at how, and we have a little Facebook chat group among some of our Fish East family, and hats off to Ryan Anderson, because he made a statement. They were making jokes and little side bets and guesses on who it might be, and in the text of the ad, it said the most famous, or how I forget the exact wording, but basically the most famous angler in quotations in Canada. Nobody said he was famous for angling.
This is true. It was a nice play on words. It was a nice play on words.
Yeah. So without any more delay and any more beating around the bush, because he's sitting in the background waiting, and he probably just wants to talk fishing. He's probably got 2 beers knocked
back already. Don't worry about him. But listen, I got to give my friend, an intro here. This guy is a hero. He is someone that many, many, many people look up to, myself and my family included. I've had the honor of being considered a good friend of his, and I consider him a very close friend of mine for, many years now. We were just talking before how fast that time has flown by, but I can speak for myself. We're incredibly proud of him as a human being on so many fronts, as a professional at what he does, as an ambassador to what he does, and also an ambassador to the outdoors, which I really hope to get into tonight. He's a good friend, and without further ado, you guys may know this guy, maybe not. I'm going to guess most people you guys do. He bears the number 31, guys. It's Carey Price. What's going on, Carey?
Oh, just sorting through my ice fishing tackle here. Getting ready for the upcoming ice fishing season.
Oh, okay. It's a little early.
Hey, it's never too early.
No.
Early.
You can think about, I suppose, you spend half your life on the ice anyways, whether it be fishing or working. So,
but
might I just say, first of all, welcome to Fish East. This is, as we give you a little bit of a background, this is a project that myself and Donnie and Matt have worked very hard at trying to get off the ground. Donnie and Matt have really taken it and grown it to what it is today. And I want to congratulate them on that. And just the fact that to have you on and you've taken the time, because obviously you've had a whirlwind year, no doubt. We do appreciate it. So on behalf of everybody here at Fish East, thank you for taking the time tonight, Carey.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I've just met Matt Donald here. We had to chat a little bit before the airing here. It's nice to get to know these guys. Obviously, Ben, we've known each other for years, and our friendship's been awesome so far. And we've spent a lot of great times on the water together and in restaurants too. So
Oh man, I'll tell you, sometimes those restaurant meals take a little longer than expected, and that's because Carrie can never say no. But I keep preaching it. I'm just waiting for this guy to retire so that we can go places and do stuff.
Right? Yeah.
That's the
yeah.
plan.
No, we got a lot in our future for sure. So thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. So these are the guys, man. Matt, Zito, and Don. These are the guys. We've got. We talk about multi-species, right? When I met Carrie, it was a funny story. I was sponsored by a brand called Sail, not so known in the East Coast, but in Ontario and Quebec, it's a big retail store, kind of like a Bass Pro Shops. And I was an ambassador for them for many years. And I get a call from the president one day, like, "Hey, Ben, would you be interested in taking Carrie out fishing?" I'm like, "Carrie who?" "Carrie Price." I'm like, "The hockey player guy?" I'm like, so cat's out of the bag. Carrie will back me on this. I wasn't much of a hockey fan. It's not something that I watch regularly. I know who the Habs are, I'm embarrassed to say. I did watch, hockey when I was younger, but I don't watch it regularly. So anyhow, I meet this guy. His name's Carrie. Apparently he's a big deal. And I take him fishing, and we go smallmouth fishing on Lac St. Louis. The whole thing it was covered and videotaped, and the whole thing, you can check it out on YouTube. It's a funny thing. And from there, we kind of hit it off. We started talking. I started realizing that this guy is pretty hardcore. He really loves the outdoors, hunting, fishing, and we got to know each other. And I love, if you could talk to us a little bit, Carrie, tonight about, and get Matt and Donald to see what I've been talking about, how, from your upbringing, your background, how is outdoors and your passion for the outdoors played into this whole thing?
Yeah, well, going back to that day, that was that was a fun day. I remember the weather that day. It was not a pleasant day weather-wise, but of course you dress for the weather. You're never going to have a bad day on the water. It was a rough day. I remember we were on the boat probably about a 25-minute jaunt.
Yeah,
probably from the launch.
Yeah.
Your boat handled
and your dad
well.
Was with us. Your dad was
My dad was with us. The Ranger handled it well though, and that was a fun day. But going back to my childhood, my dad had a big influence on me fishing as a kid. We had a 33-acre property, very remote area, Anaheim Lake, and we spent a lot of time on that creek that ran through our property together, catching rainbows on Anaheim Lake. He spent a lot of time with me outdoors, and those are moments I'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. That story rings true. I think I've seen you say it a couple of times in a couple of different interviews, but knowing that really brings you back to, your roots, right? And, you mentioned the big acreage and the farm, that's a lot like maritime life around here, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just it. I mean, you get grounded in the outdoors, you get grounded in I don't want to say the country lifestyle, because there's all kinds of folks in cities that enjoy the outdoors too. They just have to drive a little further. But those outdoor experiences for me, it was our family with a small hobby farm, I'll call it. We had horses, and it's something that you'll never forget, and it does help shape you into the person you are.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I can't believe we actually have someone talking smack. Ryan Anderson. Did you see this comment?
Okay, so I'm going to put it up. It's too funny. I know the guy can stop a puck, but can he catch a goldfish? So background story, guys. What's going on here with this guy? Who is this guy, Ryan Anderson, anyways?
Ryan, I'll cover this one because he's a fellow Nova Scotian. Ryan Anderson is the ultimate multi-species angler. Would that be
He is.
proper way to describe this gentleman? Yeah. So with the it's slipping my mind. The Anglers
Atlantic Anglers Challenge.
Atlantic Anglers Challenge. There was a competition for who can catch the most species, and Ryan has become a professional at catching goldfish in a pond in Truro, Nova Scotia.
Wild goldfish, targeted.
Wild goldfish, yes, not like fish tank, like in a pond. And he figured it out, and so we kind of all razz him about it. But he's probably the only guy I know that can do it. So
when you come down there, if you want
that's
a goldfish excursion, I know, you know, I know.
yeah, we can hook you up.
I'll put it on the bucket list.
Oh, so I guess, Carrie, we would definitely have to say, and I think Ben's already mentioned it, but you had a heck of a run. We started talking, trying to get you on back in the spring. You know, you were off for a little bit, was dealing with some injuries. You know, you guys made the playoffs, and underdogs or not, you didn't make a short playoff run. So congratulations for the run you guys had, and you know, you guys should be holding your heads high for sure.
Yeah, thanks. No, it was a lot of fun for everybody. You know, like you mentioned, we were trying to schedule the podcast. You know, the first time me and Ben talked about it, we kind of scheduled it hesitantly. You know, back in, you know, it was in the first round of the playoffs against Toronto. You know, we're kind of like, maybe right now is not the best time to be podcasting. So we put it off, and then we just kept putting it off, and we kept playing better and better and better. And, you know, we started to gather momentum, and, you know, before you knew it, we were in the finals. And then, you know, after the playoffs, you know, life kind of happens quickly after you're done playing, you're moving around. And I had a surgery, you know, and then went through that, and, you know, I finally got settled back in Montreal here, you know, a couple days ago, and we're like, yeah, this is the time to do it. So it's been kind of a whirlwind, you know, last couple of months. Really, it's been so surreal. We've had so much stuff going on, and a lot of traveling, and, you know, family stuff, and it's nice to get settled back into Montreal and start getting into a routine and start getting prepared for the season.
You know what sucks though? It sounds like you didn't get much fishing in though.
No, I certainly didn't. Me and Liv went down to the Snake River. We threw some spinners for some smallmouth bass one morning, and we caught a sturgeon that afternoon. And then I went walleye fishing this past Monday with my billet dad. There's a fellow that I stayed with when I was playing junior hockey in Washington State. You know, we went out and caught a few walleye, and, you know, a couple days later, here I am in Montreal again. So, you know, only had a couple of trips to go. And, you know,
when does your official practice start?
We don't start till the middle of September.
So you've got a little bit of a window that you could hook up with, you know, a couple guys locally to get you out.
Yeah, I'm planning on trying to get out a few times here before the start of the season. So that's an itch that has to be scratched. You know, you can't have that lingering around.
No, dude. Like, and can I say something here? Like, Carrie's super humble. Everybody knows this. So I'm just sorry, Carrie, I apologize. But, like, this guy's a gearhead. You know how I'm a gearhead, guys? Carrie is a gearhead, like spreadsheet status. Okay, like we're talking like reels, ratios, type of line, you know, lengths, actions, you name it. Very meticulous with tackle management. I've spent evenings at his house going through all this stuff. We've had multiple dialogue conversations just sorting tackle for different species. So, like, I don't want you guys to take it easy on him like he's some fluffy guest. Like, dude is for real. That's all. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the tackle management is just about as fun as the fishing. You know, it's like it's kind of a sickness, really. You know, I think any fisherman could probably relate to that. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we would relate or we would admit it, but I can pretty much guarantee that our spouses would.
It depends if the wife's
100%
is within hearing range.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, no, you know, you know, this summer or this past winter, we had most of my fishing tackle was in my my in-law shop, which is in Kennewick, Washington, and we had a shop fire.
Oh no!
Yeah. But luckily we were insured, so it was kind of a rebirth of my fishing arsenal. So it's been
terrible time for it to happen, man. Inventory's been tough. We had a retailer show I saw you guys do, and everybody was just like, inventory is just so down.
Yeah, you know, luckily, you know, it has been tough. Like, you know, everybody knows right now it's tough to get pretty much anything. But I was lucky enough to get in the good graces of a couple of companies, and they sent me some products. So I'm very grateful to them.
Did you see that comment go by, Donnie? I have to put this up. This is pretty funny. You know you're in the East Coast when.
What, you're the one from Howard?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm watching in PI while I'm fishing for stripers. So please continue. That's pretty funny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like that thumbnail too. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you thought that was?
That's pretty. Oh, that's okay. I don't know about that one. But.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. So many different directions we could take this, Carrie. I mean, I guess but you say you're back in Montreal. So, do you get your rig moved back and forth, or do you leave your boat out west, or?
Yeah, my boat primarily stays in Washington State. You know, in the Kelowna area, I primarily fish like you know, kind of mountain lakes. You know, really small craft. Like I actually like fish primarily off of a paddleboard in Kelowna. There's like the big lake, you know, Skaha Lake. You can go catch bass down there. You know, it's kind of like a kokanee, you know, rainbow trout type of fishery. But you know, honestly, when I'm in the Okanagan, those big lakes are pretty busy. There's a lot of traffic out there, a lot of you know, wakeboarders, you know, tubers, pleasure boaters. So I like to go up in the mountainside and get up into those mountain lakes and just catch rainbows up there. So my boat primarily stays in Kennewick, and that's where I do most of my walleye fishing, my bass fishing down there.
It's a pretty sweet rig, might I add.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's nice.
sweet
Yeah. No, it serves its purpose really well. It's you know, it's a regatta. It's kind of like one of those fish and play type of deals. It's a, you know, fishing boat masquerading as a family boat. You know?
21. It's a 20-foot Ranger fiberglass V hull, multi-species.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
that would get the job done.
It would get the job.
Yes.
done in
Yeah,
most places.
it's got a nice Pareto on the back, and it hauls, it goes, and Liv enjoys it. You know, I've been taking Liv out with me when it's not too hot. It gets pretty hot down in the desert, but my nephew comes with me too. We go down and catch some walleye. It's a good time.
You know, I get these comments a lot. You know, have you ever seen Terry's sports car collection? Like sports car, I don't know about no sports car collection, but he has a Ranger.
Yeah, that's the only vehicle that I own is my boat.
Can you imagine? That's crazy. Well,
Priorities.
there's a couple-
Right?
well,
Yeah, man,
We're
that's
not
it.
counting off road, are we? We're not counting side by side.
Yeah, I guess side by side. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
So I see we've got a couple folks, you know, questions popping up that are pretty common, you know, and I expected this. One of them specifies the East Coast, you know, favorite species to fish for on the East Coast. I guess the first question there is, Carrie, have you ever fished the East Coast?
No, not East Coast. You know, the furthest I fished is here, so you know, I haven't had the pleasure of getting out there yet. You know, it's going to happen. You know, we got a few bucket list things that we need to take care of, but I'm looking forward to those opportunities for sure.
Nice. So, okay. So you can't really specify the East Coast, but I guess what do you have a favorite species, or are you just, if it swims and will bite my hook, I want to catch it?
Well, yeah, I mean, it kind of, I'm pretty like task oriented, you know, like kind of whatever comes up. You know, it's kind of, you know, early in the summer, spring, I'm kind of like a walleye guy because I'm catching a few to eat throughout the summer. And then it kind of moves on into bass fishing, you know, going out there and having some fun. And then usually later in the summer, I'll move into some rainbow fly fishing. I get to go home typically, and I'll fly fish for rainbows there. Then I'll go to Maupin, Oregon, Deschutes River, and I'll fly fish for rainbows on that too. So it's kind of a progression throughout the year.
What's your go-to fly, Carrie?
I was just gonna say, what is the go-to fly?
Probably just a parachute Adams or something like that. You know, it's nothing spectacular. On my home stream, like I'm not like a dry fly purist or anything like that. You know, like I'll throw like beaded streamers and stuff like that, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's kind of what I'll switch it up. I'm not afraid to switch things up and try and figure it out.
Yeah, nothing better than a dry fly take, though. I'm
Yeah,
by far not a dry fly purist either, but There's
I
nothing
don't think
better
you're,
than
I don't
a
think you're
dry
the
fly eat.
furthest. You're the furthest away from purists from what I've seen.
I guess like an.
I'll do
like
what
an
it
El-
takes to catch a fish.
Exactly.
I'll do what it takes to catch a fish.
Exactly.
Yeah, the first rainbow I ever caught on a dry fly was on an elk hair caddis. So I would say
Caddis,
probably
yeah.
one of those two. You know,
What's your rod and reel weight combo?
oh, I'm a 3-weight guy. You know.
3, eh?
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Yes.
Yeah,
Playing with
so
fire
that's-
there.
Yeah,
How big-
That's for my home stream. Like my home stream, like in the widest places, is like 30 feet. So like I'm,
Okay.
casting kind of up and across. You know, it's real tight. Like willows everywhere. You know, like it's tight quarters.
How big are the rainbows you're talking in your in your home area?
Oh, like I would say like a topper would be like 16. You know, like that would be like a big fish. You know.
And these are wild though, right? These are
Yeah, they're
absolutely
wild. They're wild.
animals.
They're wild. Like you're thinking like really small body of water. Then you get into some lakes around the area, and they can get quite a bit bigger in the bigger bodies of water.
Now, you ever troll for them?
Yeah. Typically it's kind of the same thing. I would troll a streamer on like a sinking
fly.
tip line.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that kind of works out here too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's deadly. Like I've tried all sorts of things. Trolling like all sorts of spoons or anything, and I find like just like a red weighted fly streamer works.
A red fly.
Red. Yeah. Gold bead, red fly, red streamer.
This is sounding awful familiar.
It's
Or
awful
pink.
for
You
them.
know, those things are deadly.
So interesting.
Apparently, rainbows don't matter what coast they're on.
Apparently
they
not.
don't.
They like the red, yeah.
So
We got a stretch of water up this way, Carrie, that I would love to show you one day. It's called Waikagama down in Cape Breton in Nova Scotia, and it's basically the largest inland saltwater lake that I know of anyhow, called the Bredor Lakes. It's giant, but you can't fish the whole thing. But there's certain elements to it that are just super interesting. And there's this fall deal down there for rainbows, and I mean we catch them every which way from shore, wading. Matt showed us a really cool technique with a bobber and shrimp. Center pin. I did, fly, troll. I mean, it's just incredible, and it's saltwater, which makes it that much more interesting.
Yeah.
So no. I guess I've got a bunch of questions of my own, but we do have questions coming in from the viewers too. And another good friend of ours, one of our cameramen actually, who is an ice fishing fanatic, pointed out that, Carrie, you started out talking hard water, so now he wants to know what's your favorite fish to target and what's your biggest fish that you've pulled through a hole.
Well, it'd be probably one of those pike me and Ben caught a few years ago. I don't know.
Yep,
I couldn't even guesstimate the weight of that. What do you think? Like
they were. What were you going to say? 5?
I was thinking 5 to 6.
Try like 11 to 14.
Okay, I'm not a good guesstimator on weight. But
it's so hard to see because every time we see your picture, let's remember Carrie's like 6'3".
And I got
so
big
when
hands.
I hold the fish out, and he's got huge hands. So like
that doesn't help in pictures.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, those are some pretty nice ones.
Yeah, those
are rainbows through the ice.
Yeah, that was a good day. Like we get very few chances to fish during the season. You really have to make a commitment to go ice fishing because typically we only get one day off a week. It's last winter. There was a few. I took a few of the guys out for a day on the hard water, and we just went out and like fish were pretty much just like yellow perch, white perch,
yeah, man,
sunfish, that type of stuff. So it's kind of comes with what's available. It's kind of the best spot for us to go. It's only 45 minutes from here. I've fished for a few different species out here, but this particular setup is pretty much guaranteed action all day, and I can bring my daughter with me. I can bring teammates with me. It's kind of a good setup for everybody.
Why don't can you share with us who on the team actually likes fishing other than you?
Jake Allen's a big fisherman.
Jake
you guys are
Allen, eh?
yeah, you guys are probably familiar with this guy. He's an awesome guy. He loves fishing. Down to earth guy. Happy to have him here.
Sweet.
Yeah, Jake's.
You ever get Shay out? I know you talked about it.
Yeah. No, Shay came out with me at the end of last season when COVID hit. Actually, our season was kind of stopped short, so we were kind of like right at the end. We were like, it was like the last day possible to be on the ice. Like, everything was melting around us, and we were out on the ice. And yeah, we had a pretty good day. He enjoys the outdoors too. He's going to be spending a lot more time, fishing and hunting too, I'm sure, in the future.
Sweet, very nice.
So you mentioned Jake Allen. So I'm wondering, is the fishing a goaltender's thing, or is there something about it that really appeals to you guys? As professional athletes in general, is it the solitude, the distraction? Like, what is it about fishing that really draws you out now? As you pursue your hockey career to the extent you have.
Yeah, Charlie Lindgren, he was a goaltender with us for this past season too, and he was a big fisherman too. I don't know. I think it's just kind of the peace and quiet. I really enjoy fishing with other people. It's fun, it's social. I really enjoy it. Like, my time spent on the water with other people is very enjoyable. But I also really enjoy kind of going out on my own too sometimes, and just spending some time kind of just decompressing a little bit, and just thinking about something that, for me, I don't get to do as often as I would like to do. So I really just enjoy being on the water and kind of spending some time, in my own head a little bit, just thinking about, fishing.
I'll tell you, I'll share something with you. Ever since moving out to the East Coast, I've always been big on camping and scouting and all that type of stuff. But, something about the type of destinations that are available here and the type of fishing we can do, like, recently, we got a bunch of guys together. We went out to the coast on the beach and we did some surf fishing. I think I sent you some pictures from that day. So I brought my son, Donnie brought his son, a whole bunch of people came out, and it was like a whole thing, right? So we went out on the beach, set up, amazing lunch. Like, we did like mussels and we did sausages and everything, and we're catching fish, and we kept some, brought it back to the camp we were at, which was like 5 minutes down the road, and just made a ridiculous meal of fresh striper. You know what I mean? And that whole experience of the wilderness, the camping, the exploration, the different type of style fishing, the harvesting, the eating, the enjoying, that is something that is just something I just want to do more of.
Yeah. No, that's that's something that I feel like the outdoors has given me a real appreciation for, is food. Tonight we ate a mule deer buck that came from Potato Mountain in the West Chilcotin. It's we hiked a long way to get this meat, and it gives you more of an appreciation of where your food comes from. Tomorrow we're eating walleye from the Columbia River. So it's just something that it's given me a real appreciation for food, and it's made me a better cook, and my children enjoy it, and I think that's something that really gives me gratitude.
Absolutely. Cool.
I think if more people took that approach, and we all be far better off. I mean, get back to our roots a little bit, get back to what nature has given us and has offered us along the way.
Yep, yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, it's it's not only just the food. It's that's not the only thing. Like, the experience as well. There's times that I've spent with Liv, and we're out there catching our own food. There's times I've spent in the backcountry for several days, hiking, 25 miles just to get some steaks. Is not only, it's just the time spent out there and the memories that you have that make it even more pleasurable.
Yeah, and you're always a big preacher of balance, right? Harmony with everything around you, harmony with what you do, and the outdoors really keeps you grounded and connected with that.
For sure.
It doesn't hurt that your dad is also a fishing fanatic. Like, he
does love fishing. He's been texting me every other day pretty much. Oh, the trout are jumping on the creek. I was like, Dad, I can't go out there. Stop telling me this. But they've been having a heck of a time with fires out there. It's been pretty smoky out in
Yeah.
BC this year, so
Yeah.
they're kind of always on high alert out there right now. So it's kind of like that everywhere in the West right now. It's a little dark out there, but everybody's hunkered down and ready to defend their homes. We've had people that have been on the front porch beating off the fires, so it's some hardy people out there.
How close is it to your family in the area that you're from, Carrie?
It was we had a fire there were several fires around, but the wind was blowing in the right direction. Wind was blowing west, so it was blowing towards the mountain range. There was one fire that was probably about I would say 50 miles from home. That one was kind of more of an imminent threat because it was blowing more towards town. But everybody's good right now, and it's we're in a better situation than a lot of people are in BC.
Very, very cool.
No.
I'm going to squeeze Carrie on something. You had mentioned about East Coast and Carrie not being the East Coast, but I'd like to hear, have you heard? I know I've fed you some stuff, but like, if you were to come, what would be some of the things that you might want to try out that you've heard?
Salmon stripers. That's straight
That's
up.
a pretty good combo right there.
I'd be straight
Yep.
up with you. I'd go for both of those. Those both sound like a lot of fun to me. I know Jake has spoke highly about both species. He's like I said, he's a big fisherman too. He speaks highly about both of them. And one day I'm going to make it out there, and we're all going to go fishing together, and I'm looking forward to that.
I don't think there'll be a problem finding the venue. We just have to be picky choosy on what we're going to do. I have a feeling that we might have quite a few more options available once the time actually happens.
I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Now,
Yeah.
I'll let Matt talk to us a little bit. Tell Carrie a little bit about like the salmon fishing, from in Nova Scotia, because it's a little bit different in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, different in that maybe some of the rivers in New Brunswick might have higher numbers than Nova Scotia. I'm not really up to date on what the numbers are in New Brunswick, but our numbers have been declining in Nova Scotia. Marguerite still has really great numbers. Actually, we had a great. It's been a great season so far on the Marguerite. There's been a lot of fish caught this year, but we had a lot of rain this year, more so than any other summer I can remember. Like it's been rain every so often, which is good. But I mean, we got a couple rivers that fish a summer run, but mostly it's like October or fall run when we see the most fish. And I like the fall fishing better than summer fishing. You get all the colors, especially down to Cape Breton. You got the mountainous backgrounds, like you guys saw it. It's like the most picturesque place you could fish, and just all color. And it's they're definitely one of the most frustrating fish to target. But when you hook the first one, you realize why you put all the hours in and why you made 1,000 casts, and they're definitely the king of fish. Like if you like your trout and salmonid species, like Atlantic salmon is the one you got to hook on a fly. But like hands down, like no question about it. They're just tanks. They're the kings of the river. They're so strong, and you hook one on a fly rod, and it's a little challenging too. I'm not sure what New Brunswick does, but here we have to use barbless hooks. So I mean, you lose a lot of the fish, but that's part of the challenge too. So like to actually get your hands on one, like I got a buddy that it took him 5 years to hook his first one, right? 5 years of trying. So
I've gone
it's worth it.
3 times and I haven't hooked one yet. But
Yeah,
I had opportunities. It just, everything has to come together. It's one of those like.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But one.
Yeah, you come down, Carrie. We'll put you into some. We'll put you into some if you come down for sure.
This is cool, Carrie. Not
Leave
only
the 3-weight at home though.
Yeah, the 3.
Right.
Yeah, bring an 8-weight, 8 or 9 weight.
Not only are we talking about extraordinary locations, like you need to understand. This is not like just, with a city in the background. You are in true wilderness, right? But also there are these absolutely epic, cute fly shops along the way that have been there for decades. You walk into these places and you can smell the history in the air.
Yeah.
Right? The fly tying, the knowledge, just so much there. You would soak that all up. I'm telling you.
I do enjoy going into a fly shop. You know. Yeah.
Especially those
You know,
vintage ones that have
we're-
been around, you know.
Yeah.
We're pretty lucky here in New Brunswick and in Nova Scotia too, because we have one Bass Pro in New Brunswick and then a Bass Pro Cabela's hybrid down in Nova Scotia. But other than that, our tackle shops are all independents.
Yeah.
Actually, I see the name pop up. Amanda's there, watching tonight from Minnow Tackle, a business in Fredericton that started during COVID, just celebrated their first anniversary last week.
Awesome.
There's all kinds of shops around. And like Ben said, some of the fly shops and some of these older shops, they're like a museum. You almost wonder, when you buy the flies, it's like, should I actually fish with this or should I go home and put it on the wall?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've also got some really world-class fly tires in the Maritimes as well, being
Yes.
like really well known.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
No, I guess Ben asked about your species for the East Coast. You said salmon and stripers. I will mention that the St. John River now has a world-class, a true world-class muskie fishery as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some opportunities for some real giants of a number of species.
I'm just saying that the number one, muskie guide on the St. John River happens to be, lives down the street from me. Just saying.
And he does it on the fly.
and he does it on the fly and ties the fly. Like you've seen the flies, Matt. Like they're like.
Oh, I don't know how you throw those things.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't use feathers. He uses the whole bird.
Yeah.
Big fly. Yeah. You're gonna be icing your shoulder down.
Yeah.
That night for sure.
But outside of just the East Coast, I know that's what we're here to talk about. But I mean, Kerry, we're just talking fishing in general. Canada, other countries. What do you got on your bucket list for fish?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard to tell a fisherman what he wants to do. It's there's so many things that I want to do in this life, and I don't think I'm gonna have enough time for it all. But whether it's saltwater, freshwater, foreign or domestic, I just I'm gonna take every opportunity I can to go fishing. It's I got a small, well, not a small anymore. I got a large family now. And every time I get to spend with them, and hopefully it'll be outdoors, I'm going to cherish every moment of it. So, there's more than enough things that I want to do. It's the things, those opportunities that actually do come along. I'm just going to cherish every one of them.
I'm going to share a story with everybody. I text Kerry very often, and sometimes I never know where he is, right, because of his traveling schedule. And I asked him one day, I'm like, how could you not pack a rod and reel with all these crazy destinations that you go to? Like, he's all over Canada, all over the U.S. He's in Florida. He hasn't even seen a lake in Florida. Like, how?
Yeah.
Like that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy to comprehend, because me, I always have a fishing rod somewhere packed in, right, wherever I go.
Yeah.
But for your work, it doesn't even, you don't have that flexibility.
Well, I've thought about it. I've actually have brought one on the road with me. Just the opportunities don't present themselves. Like whether or just the way our scheduling works. Say we go to Tampa. It's a pretty good place to maybe go poke around. We get there the night before a game. We get there at say 4:30. You go out to dinner. Done dinner at 6:30. You're kind of posting up for the rest of the night. Then you play the next day, and then you're gone after the game. So those opportunities just don't present themselves very often. I've gone fishing on the road maybe twice in my career, and one of them has been in Phoenix, of all places. In
an artificial pond, probably.
Yeah, exactly. So this those opportunities don't present themselves very often, and when you do have the time off, you're pretty dialed into playing hockey at the time. So you're basically just trying to get all the rest you can. You don't have a day to spend a whole day out in the sun on a boat. It kind of, it's a little bit draining, to be honest.
I can vouch. I've been with Kerry about it, being shore fishing with him. When Kerry goes fishing, he is dialed in. Like from the moment we get up, like 3:30 in the morning at his house, we're on the road, and he's dialed in for the entire day. Never one to say, "Are we going home yet?" Never, like ever to the last second, right?
Yeah, no, that's like, I've always been the type of guy that kind of, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, all the way. When I'm fishing at home, like I was talking to you guys earlier, I'm usually the first one at the launch. I'm out there usually longer than everybody. So, just kind of the way I am, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know how, folks, if we don't get to your questions or comments, it's not that we're trying to cherry pick. It's, there's all kinds of comments there, and we can't occupy all of Carrie's night. Otherwise we'd be here till the sun comes up tomorrow morning, and, that's going to suck when I have to go to work. So,
Yeah.
but
yeah, I got to train in the morning too, guys.
Oh, you started training?
Oh yeah. No,
No,
I'm at Broussard, and we're getting into the swing of things already. Yeah.
Wow.
nice.
Crazy.
So Pete Stoddard did confirm that we are barbless only for the salmon here in New Brunswick as well. And he said he's lost way more than he's landed. But
Yeah.
I read that last line as an invitation that he'll help. Pete and I were supposed to be up on the Restigouche last week, but because of low water, warm water, we weren't able to go. But
And that man right there, okay, he's got the golden key to pretty much anywhere you want to go. So we can.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
I really like Rathburn's comment. I think Harry can answer this one here. Every angler has that one fish memory that stands out over every other catch. Is it possible that Harry shares his one standout fish catching memory with us?
You know what? This one is kind of. I have two. I gotta say I have two. One was my daughter's first perch that she caught at her ice fishing spot. That's something that'll always stick with me. But another one was I went. It was actually like a bachelor party for a buddy of mine, and there was several of us. We were out fishing together, and I caught a nice sized rainbow trout, probably the biggest rainbow I've ever caught in my life. And just like in that moment, it was before kids. It was kind of before any of us had kids. It's kind of our last time together. Being kind of free birds. So that's something that I'll always remember.
Very, very cool. Awesome.
Nice. So I see Howard Martel giving you props for your playoff performance. I also saw earlier that, Carrie, if you want to jump on a plane and sneak down here to Nova Scotia by Saturday, I don't know if you've ever been to Halifax before, but just outside of Halifax, there's a lake called Grand that Ben and I have spent some time on together.
I texted Carrie that picture when we were
Did
on
you?
the dock.
Yeah.
When we were, sitting with Duncan out in front of Crosby's house having lunch on the boat, and then just 300 yards down the shore. Well, maybe a little more than that, but just a little ways down the shore, there's Nathan McKinnon's house.
Yeah.
So
I remember the text I got from Ben. Yeah. That sounds nice, but like I said, once we kind of get into hockey mode, it's kind of fishing goes on the back burner. As much as I like fishing, I like hockey more. So it's for now. Yeah, it does. But I got a goal in mind, and right now I had a knee surgery a little while ago, 3.5 weeks ago, and I'm just like preparing to trying to get back for the season. So I'm going to try and sneak out maybe a couple of times locally here, but I definitely don't have time for trips anymore. But I do appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure anytime you want to come down, I mean, if a whisper even got out that you were coming, there'd be 60 boats at the launch saying, okay, he can go with me. That wouldn't be a problem. So
yeah, there'll be a time. There'll be a time for it, no doubt.
Yeah. And I think that's something we're all going to look forward to. But Carrie, I've known for a while you were coming on, and we've talked to Ben and talked to Matt. And of course, I'm going to have some questions written down, stuff that I want to ask you. And I don't want it to seem posed, but this is one that I'm going to be very blunt. This is something I put some thought into. You have been a role model for young people in general, whether it be, young people from First Nations communities or just young people in general. What kind of advice would you offer a young person, whether it be in fishing or hockey or just in life? If they're chasing a dream like you did to make it to the NHL and to become one of the best hockey players in the world, sorry to take it off fishing for a minute, but just what kind of advice do you give these kids?
I mean, it just comes down to like your dedication, basically. You know, in anything you do. You know, mine when I was a kid, it started out as hockey. You know, ever since I was ever since I can remember, I was 5 years old. I've been playing on the backyard pond. You know, it's just been, you know, I've just wanted it more than everybody else. You know, it's basically what it comes down to. You got to be willing to take the time and sacrifice things that you know, maybe might be more fun at the time. I remember in high school, I had a lot of friends, you know, that were, you know, all having fun. I really wanted to go join them, but I always had a goal in mind, and I just wanted to chase that, and I stayed focused and just wanted it. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's how bad you want it, and how much dedication you're willing to, or how much you're willing to sacrifice for it. So yeah, and that applies to anything. It doesn't need to be hockey. It can be school, or, you know, your doctrine, or, you know, ballet, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It just comes down to your dedication and how much you want it.
I want to add to that story something that he didn't mention there. Like, hockey practice meant sometimes taking a plane to hockey practice.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, this was just hop in the minivan, and 20 minutes later, you're at the arena.
Yeah, yeah. And so when I was you know, a kid, me and my dad, we used to drive 3.5 hours, you know, there and back 3 times a week, you know, just to get the hockey practice, you know, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we would drive, you know, for the weekend, then to go to, you know, the tournament, whether it's in Prince George or Kamloops, which is you know, an additional 3 hours, you know, on top of that. So we spent a lot of time in the car together, and my dad, he's always enjoyed flying. You know, we had a small Piper Cherokee airplane, and that would cut that 3.5 hour drive down to an hour flight. So me and my dad spent some time in the plane together, and you know, let me take control a few times. Let me fly the plane a little bit when I was you know, 9. Yeah, but it was, you know, once you're kind of in the air, it's kind of straightforward. You know, it's kind of keep it at this altitude and kind of head towards that mountain over there. You know, so but those memories last forever. And you know, my dad has shown the type of dedication that it takes to see his children succeed. So, you know, you know, so grateful for his dedication to my career.
And I'm going to dig a little bit deeper here while we're on this topic. I mean, you know, we talk a lot about your dad, but your mom's certainly an inspiration for, you know, to you and your community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my mom was elected chief again. You know, she's you know, she's such a leader in our community. That's like, you know, it's not an easy position to be in, a position of leadership, because, you know, sometimes, you know, people aren't going to agree with you whether you think it's a good idea or not, you know. So but the thing with my mom is she cares so much about her community that she's always trying to make decisions that are based on the betterment of our community. And I don't think there's a better person that's suited for that job than my mom, because I think she cares more than everybody else. You know, it's I'm so proud of her and the way that she's carried herself throughout everything.
Very, very cool. It's a lot of stuff you need to pass on to the young ones. Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of, you know, I'm very proud of my my heritage and my culture, and I'm definitely going to be passing that on to my children. You know, it's you know, my grandmother, I'm so proud of her and what she's been able to accomplish in her life, and you know, it's you know, she's a residential school survivor herself. Wow. And you know, being able to raise a large family, you know, essentially on her own, and you know, it wasn't an easy life for her back then, because it's the Wild West out in Anaheim Lake. You know, when she was raising her family. You know, that fortitude that she has, she definitely passed on to her children and her grandchildren and her great grandchildren.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a great story. My grandmother, you know, and you know, I'm very proud of her.
And I bet she's very proud of you.
Yeah, she's proud of all of her grandchildren and her great grandchildren. You know, we have a very tight family. We're all whenever we get together, we don't get together very often, but when we do, it's always a good time.
Well, that's the nice thing about family. It doesn't matter if it was yesterday or 2 years ago. When you get
Yep.
together, it's just like,
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
so, and I'm sure with your travel schedule, the gaps in between sometimes are a whole lot longer than what you would prefer.
For sure. Yeah. It's, especially with with COVID and everything going on, it's harder to travel now. I typically get out to Anaheim Lake once a year, like I said, to go see my family and go fishing out there on the property and go sightseeing. Usually, like me and my dad, and my mom, we went up to Anaheim Peak. We went hiking up to it's a dormant volcano. It's kind of the prominent land feature in Anaheim Lake. So we like to spend some time outdoors together. And this year I wasn't able to get home because of the short off season, and due to being in the States, I couldn't come home. So
All right. Yeah.
looking forward to coming home hopefully next summer.
Well, I'll tell you, I know we're getting to the end of the show, but lots of different comments and opinions come in. I've been planning a Carey Price visit to the East Coast ever since I moved here. So here's what I want to share. And, I'd love to hear the comments or whatever feedback. I think obviously I got to bring Tamir Mishi. He's, I've been talking about it I've been coming to Miramichi even before we moved here, and Carey's known about that for years and years. So I think that's definitely on the list. There's also the stripe run in Nova Scotia by Matt, which has giant, just on average, bigger fish in the Stewiacke River.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much the same timing. And that's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. And that's from shore or from a boat. But interestingly enough, most exciting by fly, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. And then,
Yeah.
muskie fishing right here in Fredericton. It's literally right here downtown. We can stop for lunch, have a beer on a patio, and get back fishing. That's how convenient it is. And then there's the rainbow trout up in Waikagama in Cape Breton. You would love that. Absolutely love it, because we'd get them 3 to 4 different ways, which makes it really unique.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this tiny shack there that just makes the most redonkulous seafood chowder. What is the name of that place again?
Charlene's.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Charlene's.
Mm-hmm.
There is
You
more
love a good
seafood in
chowder.
it than liquid. There's more seafood in it than liquid, and there's no potatoes.
No potatoes?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Wow.
all
It's all
Seafood.
seafood.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
Ben, the list could go on.
Yeah.
There's so many different
I was just gonna
opportunities.
say maybe Long Lake Lakers too. That's a really sweet spot with giant Lakers and giant landlocked salmon in it too. But anyways,
Yeah. But
that's kind of the stuff I'm thinking about.
I've seen Jake's name pop up a couple more times, and I saw one comment. I'd have to scroll back up through to see who said it, but I think there's some hunger to see Jake and Carey in town at the same time, and some sort of head-to-head charity challenge or something of that nature. On the St. John River, or any of the rivers, or whatever. But whether it's for charity or for fun, maybe sometime we'll try and get you and Jake in town at the same time and
Do some salmon fishing.
do some
that
salmon.
sounds good.
Mm.
Yep.
I have a ton of respect for Jake. I've gotten to know him pretty well over the last season, and I know he has a charity golf tournament there.
Yep.
So at some point I'm definitely going to be coming over, and maybe we can get some fishing at the same time.
There you go.
He does quite a bit. I know he's seen him on some local cable shows, and he fishes. I'm trying to remember which. I know there's a couple different the salmon lodges that he spent time at. And
Yeah, he was just at one. I think it was like 3 weeks ago, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
He was
It's been good this summer. The salmon fishing here.
Yeah, no, he was texting me while he was on the river. So it was he's no joke. He's legit.
yeah, no, he definitely loves it. So.
Wicked.
Carey, we could go on all night, and I'm sure that our viewers at home would probably, continue putting up comments and asking questions. And I know I probably have a million more questions, but can't thank you enough for joining us. Ben, I talk to you a little more often than I get to talk to Mr. Price. So, thank you for joining us too, Ben.
All right, man. You know what? It was a great opportunity. I miss you guys a lot. If you guys want, I'd come back once in a while for sure. But I just want to say, hey, again, thanks to Carey. But keep up what you guys are doing with the messaging, with the multi-species and the the whole thing, everything about Fish East is just what it's supposed to be. And, you can see from the type of audience that you have and the type of content that you guys put out, and just keep it up. That's my message. I don't know. What do you think, Harry?
I feel the same way. I don't discriminate. It's I just love fishing no matter how. Whether it's on a dry fly or if I'm, pulling plugs, it does not matter. I just enjoy
And,
being
and most of the time
outdoors.
they're tasty, right? Most of the time
Yeah,
they're tasty.
that's right. Yeah, I'm not afraid to throw one in a pan either. So it's it's all about being outside, enjoying yourself, and spending some time with some friends or by yourself every once in a while. So, thank you guys for having me. I'm honored to be here, and look forward to some future conversations and some future fishing.
I
want to mention something, Donnie, before Carrie goes. Carrie, is this the first time you've been on a podcast?
This is the first podcast I've ever been on.
There you go. You guys can mark that one on the wall. This is the first time Carrie's ever been on a podcast.
Okay, I need to make a plaque now.
Yeah.
And I will have to say, guys, I think we need to send this man a Fish East hat and hoodie.
Oh, he loves swag.
Yes,
Hook
for
it
sure.
up.
We got to send him some swag as a thank you gift, and
For sure.
taking some
sure.
time, and
I appreciate.
No, go ahead, Carrie.
No, I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate you guys inviting me here. Sorry it couldn't be earlier, but
You had a valid, you had a pretty valid excuse.
Yeah. You were a little busy.
Stanley Cup Finals, Fish East. Yeah, I know it was a tough call, but I think you made the right one.
Thanks. Guys.
So, no, Carrie, best of luck in the upcoming season. Hopefully you do get out on the water with some of the local boys there around Montreal here in the not too distant future and scratch that itch. And Ben's door is open. I'm sure if he's unavailable, we'll always find you somewhere to put your head, and we'll find somewhere to get you on the water anytime you get a chance to come to the East Coast. And Sabrina, thank you for this. She's offering to throw in some Fish Nova Scotia gear as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, she's a great program. Just getting, fishing promotion in Nova Scotia from the government's great.
Yeah. So, no, we've got some great partners, some great people that we've worked with, some great people that we've met. And let's face it, it's the Maritimes. There's just a lot of great people.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I haven't met a sour person from the Maritimes. So,
well, the scale tipped a little when I moved here, but it's still good. Still pretty good. Still pretty good.
So, but no, Carrie, thanks again, my friend. It was so good spending the time talking with you, and hopefully we get a chance to do it again. And like I said, best of luck in the upcoming season. And if by chance your season gets cut a little shorter next spring, remember Miramichi in May. It's worth the trip.
Yeah, it won't be a bad consolation prize, but I'm definitely not gunning for it.
No, we're not wishing for it, but if it happens.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.
Okay, Pete Stoddard just kicked in some Stay Wild NB gear as well, so we're gonna have a care package.
Free stuff.
We're gonna have a care package coming your way, Carrie. I'll touch base with Pete and Sabrina, and we'll make that happen. And guys, thanks again, Ben. We'll be talking to you.
Always a pleasure, guys. Keep it up.
Yeah.
And Carrie, thanks for taking the time, buddy. Call me.
Ben's trying to get a date, so
yeah.
Carrie, thanks again, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, guys.
I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Ben.
Well, that hour kind of flew by. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
You and I really
my pleasure as always.
You and I really didn't have to do as much as usual. I mean, Ben and Carrie have been friends for a long time. And so the two of them just kind of bantered, and you and I get to throw in a little bit here and there. Just great, great to have someone like Carrie on. Great to catch up with Ben. It's been 6, 7, 8 months. I don't know what it's been since he's actually been on the show. But as you folks have probably been able to tell, we're kind of sporadic in the summertime. We had Gussie, a few weeks ago, and then Carrie tonight. We're going to get back into a regular routine more towards the fall when daylight disappears a little faster, because it's tough. Everyone's busy in the summertime, and let's face it, if the weather's good, you want to be outside, not inside looking at this ugly face. So
Oh,
thank you.
don't be so hard on yourself, Donald.
No,
Don't
it's
be
not
so
being
hard
hard
on
on
yourself.
myself. It's being realistic. So, but no, I mean, I love doing these shows, and like I said, I do them every week, but at the same time, it's not practical and it's not feasible for everyone. So, thank you, folks, for watching. Matt, thank you. I honestly
Pleasure.
can't tell you when the next episode's going to be. We got a couple ideas we're working on, but I don't have anything nailed down just yet. But stay tuned. Keep an eye on the Facebook page or the Instagram page. Just keep an eye out on our social media. Check out fisheast.com, our website. And to everyone watching at home, thank you to Ben, to Carrie, to all our guests, all our commenters. It was just a lot of fun, and can't wait to do it again.
Absolutely.
So, on behalf of Matt Zito and myself, ladies and gentlemen, fish on and fish east.
Thank you, everyone.
We'll do the things we love again. We'll hang out with friends. We'll put our screens away and be amazed by what's been waiting for us. We'll dance and eat and laugh again. We'll look in our own backyard and find that it is full of wonders. There will be adventures and art. We will stand in the sunshine and we will be free. Where will you go first?